What's going on, guys? Airman Maybe here, back with another video. So today's video is going to be open mechanical jobs and what happens if you have a open contract like me. So let's give a run back on basically the process and stuff that happened during when I first started. Let's go back to my recruiter. So when I had talked to my recruiter, I didn't necessarily know what kind of contract or what kind of job I was going to have because of my situation. Now, for those of you who were watching me from the very beginning, you know that I was going through a waiver to get in, along with had to take my ASVAB twice. It did play kind of a factor on my job, but I'm assuming why that is the reason why my recruiter put me in an open mechanical job. Now, for most cases, I think that a lot of people that first go in, for those of you guys that are having an open mechanical job or have an open mechanical contract, chances are your recruiter put you in that because that was the needs of the Air Force, and it necessarily does not mean it's because of your ASVAB score, because mine was pretty low. A lot of people get whole wrapped up with the whole ASVAB score thing, and it's not necessarily all that important. What's most important is that if you are in particular qualify for that position, that job position, and the needs of the Air Force at that time. In my case, I guess they needed to have a lot of mechanics. I talked about that in my job in-depth tip video. If you guys haven't checked that out, check that out. I did go over a little brief what was going on during that time. I believe it was the third or fourth video. But anyways, open mechanical contracts. When I was going into MEPS, I noted that I had to talk to a lady, or my liaison, who basically gave me a list of jobs that I qualify for. What some people didn't know, and what I didn't know going into BMT, was that that job list, it does not necessarily mean those are your jobs that you're going to stick with, and those are the jobs that you're going to permanently qualify for, because everything is ever changing. I did not know that. When I went to BMT, I had to go to the order process in place twice, which a lot of people, everybody's going to do that when you go. The process basically went, when we all got there, the first time we all got there, everybody gets separated into active duty, reserved, and guard. After that, depending on your contract, if you have a open contract or specific contract set, you get broken into groups after that too. I got broken into an active duty, open mechanical contract. We all basically sat in a room and they gave us a book full of jobs in open mechanical aptitude. The book basically showed all the requirements that you need and what was the minimum ASVAB requirements, the score you need to qualify for that job. Now that is the only time the ASVAB score actually mattered when it came down to it. It is true that you do qualify for more jobs, but that doesn't mean that those jobs will be available, and that is very important, and I did not know that. I cannot stress that enough, and a lot of people get wrapped up in it, especially if you're wondering about what kind of job you're going to get if you're shooting for one particular job. I would say don't get your hopes up too high, but all you can do is really hope for the best and hope that the Air Force is hiring or putting people in those positions at that particular job at that time, if that makes sense. So after we got the list, basically we had to have a interview, and that is the time when you get to break down all the jobs you qualify for still, and they go through more questions to see if you don't qualify for some other jobs. Now in my case, I had about a good list of jobs, surprisingly. My jobs, I had about 10 jobs I can choose from. And mind you, my score was not that high. I was almost in I was in the 40s. Like, I did not have a mechanical background. I'm not ashamed to say it. I am not good. I don't have mechanical experience, and I had it rough. I had to take the ASVAB twice. And I qualified for 10 jobs. The only ones I did not qualify for was 2 different jobs. And that was okay, because my list turned out pretty good. After I talked to the lady, she was like, okay, you qualify for these jobs. You're going to come back a second time, and that's when we're going to get your order pickup and all the other stuff. Along with the first time when you first do go to that process in place, that's when you do your tech school, your dream sheet, all the places you get to go or you want to go depending on your job. So the second time around is when you do orders pickup. Now, orders pickup, that's basically the real deal. That basically tells you where you're going to tech school and what kind of job you got. Now after orders pickup, which was probably like the 5th week, like the second last week of when we about to graduate, that's when I found out what kind of job I was going to have. Remember, like the whole time I did not know. All I knew I was open mechanical and I'm active duty. That's all I really know. Ever since I went to go talk to my recruiter, I didn't know I end up as sheet metal, which is my job now. But all I known when I first went and looked at that list was that I wanted to go to Florida and I did not want to be stuck in Shepherd, Texas or Keesler, because that's where a lot of people go. Everybody that basically got put into those different AFSCs as me, most of them don't go to Florida. That's why it's a small amount percentage of Air Force here. And that basically was like the process of me going or doing that thing and finding out my job. It was a long process just figuring out what kind of job I was going to have. But for anybody that's in open mechanical, that process does take a while. You won't actually know what kind of job you'll have until like the last minute, which is like 2 weeks before you actually leave from BMT. And that's basically including Airman's Week. If they still have Airman's Week, they probably changed that now, is what I heard. But yeah, that was pretty much the rundown with like me getting my job. Like being in sheet metal, I didn't expect me to be in sheet metal as low as my ASVAB score was. But I am learning. I'm still halfway there and I'm getting through it. So I do like my job so far. Being in this AFSC is pretty challenging, and I'm still grateful that I am in Florida right now. And those of you who are going into BMT, all I gotta say is that I wish you guys the best of luck. Try to get through all the processing. It can be very tedious, very tiring, kind of misleading, I guess, in a way, if you're first starting. If you're talking to your recruiter, just be patient with them. Just make sure if you have any questions about your contract, just make sure you ask all the questions, because it is going to be you're signing your life. Like I signed a 6-year contract. My contract basically entailed me to get enlistment bonus since it is an open mechanical job, but that's just my contract, and I went in as an E3 for those of you who don't know that. Everybody's situation is different, especially it could depend on, like I said, your ASVAB score, just to wrap it up, is what counts in a way. The needs of the Air Force and who they're hiring for that position at the time is what like usually the 2 most important things for you to get the kind of job you want. I think that's pretty much it, guys. I hope I covered everything as far as contracts go. Open mechanical, we're gonna get through this. If you're open in general, that's a little different. Mine specifically did say open mechanical, so that was the process for people who are going to open mechanical. I hope you guys get a good idea, or this video helped you guys get a good idea of what it is and how it works. Alright, I think that's pretty much it. If you guys liked the video, please give a like down below. Hit that notification bell on the side of the video and subscribe. I make videos every single week, and I hope you guys the best. Thanks you guys for watching this video. Pretty much it. Alright guys, Airman May out of here.